Hello YouTubers, welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is Frank the Vamp, and as you can see, I'm wearing the amazing Spider-Man 2 t-shirt en español, El Sorprendente Hombre Araña Parte 2. And I wanted to open up showing you that I got the promotional t-shirt there. Um, I went, and I can tell you that this film gave me a similar feeling to what Captain America Part 2 The Winter Soldier is. It has so much potential, and it has so many good things, and then it never realizes its true potential. It's almost like you have a Ferrari and you put a, I don't know, you put a Ford Taurus engine in it. Like it can go fast, but it's just for show. It never reaches its true speed, and it kind of just idles. That's my thought. Like, I'm gonna start with a grading system starting from this video forward, and then you'll stick around to check out what kind of grade I'm gonna give this video. But it's a good film, but it could have been so much more. So let's start with um, let's start with the casting, of course. The cast, goes to once again Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, and and Peter Parker. And let me tell you, Andrew does so much better than the first film. That's a plus. I didn't like the first Spider-Man very much. I'm gonna say that. I thought that they tried to make. I was used to seeing Tobey Maguire. This guy, yeah, in a way, he was like, oh, here you go. Here's a younger, hipper, cooler version of Maguire. And he came out of his cliche a little bit. And maybe he wasn't given too much to work with, given the weak script of part one that I didn't get into. Um, but the definitely, I think that he has improved. He has matured as an actor. He's still limited, but he's really funny. You know, lighthearted, and this is the and we're going to talk about that in a minute because that's the trend of this film, and I think that that's why some things don't work. Um, then we have Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, doing a fantastic job. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. Oscar winner Jamie Foxx, and going as Electro, the one of the main antagonists, the bad guy, and he's just awesome. And we're going to talk about it in a minute. Then we have Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn, uh, or the Green Goblin, and he comes from. He does a pretty good job as well. So you can say the acting is not it's it's not lacking at all. It's actually pretty good, and that's one of the strong parts of the film. But we got other problems, and we're going to talk about that as well. But let's think about what I really the plot, and then what I like about the film. Um, First of all, the it's about, what can I say? Spider-Man is out. Part one, he's out web slinging, and he's going out and solving crimes and doing it pretty happily. You know, your friendly neighbor Spider-Man. It's out there. It's doing the things that he likes to do. He enjoys doing, saving people, solving crimes, and Gwen is just sticking around with them, helping him out, understanding him, but at the same time also having relationship problems with them and dealing with, it's hard being Spider-Man, and it's hard, being a teenager, coming of age and having a girlfriend, and that's just hard anyways, and being a superhero just accentuates all the things that are there. So that's actually the strong point. It's a very strong romance. The chemistry between Garfield and Stone is actually pretty damn good. Spider-Man and Gwen are just look like they're made for each other, and that's that's really cool, and it works out. I'm not gonna try to spoil things that happen, but you do feel it towards the end. You know how important it was that they develop a great chemistry, and it makes the end so much sweeter, bittersweet. I would say. I won't say anymore. So the plot involves that Spider-Man, always gonna develop a new bad guy, sort of and we see how Electro comes to be, and and there's a subplot of basically him trying to find out who his father was, and the Oscorp Industries, and Gwen works for Oscorp, and basically the plot involves Peter's childhood friend, which is Harry Osborn, who returns to see his terminally ill father that says that he's going to get the same disease, and then he needs to find some kind of way to heal himself. And his father leads him his research, and his research involves part of what happened to Spider-Man, how Spider-Man came out to be. And one of the big plot points is that he needs Spider-Man's blood to heal himself, and Harry Osborn is just basically desperate to find the cure, and he's pretty much gonna take no for an answer. At the same time, there's this guy called Max that idolizes Spider-Man, and he suffers some kind of accident. It's a small spoiler, and I'm gonna tell you how it happens, but he becomes Electro, and then Harry learns about Electro, and tries to exploit him to see if together they can get Spider-Man and get his blood, and of course, you know, Harry Osborn doesn't know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Peter Parker is his friend, and they kind of bond, and says because he knows that Peter takes pictures of Spider-Man, that he knows Spider-Man has to tell him about it. And when Spider-Man refuses, there's kind of like, this terrible feud that happens and sparks, and gets the story going. Um, the plot's good. I like. Let me tell you what I like. I like the action. It's really cool. The web slinging, it's much better than in previous films. You really do feel like you're slinging there with Spider-Man from building to building. Um, the special effects are awesome, man. Electro, it's something to see. I was hearing some internet people, talking about I didn't like the suit of Electro. They didn't like this and that. Man, he looks great. He looks great. The special effects are awesome. What he can do is awesome. So the special effects are great right off the bat. The Green Goblin, when he finally shows up, is awesome. Um, what The other great thing is the acting. Like I said, Andrew Garfield much better, improved. Emma Stone steals the movie. Great job for Jamie Foxx. Electro looks awesome. It's really menacing. Looks deranged, and the I really like the guy who plays the Green Goblin, Harry Osborn, which his name escapes me now. His name is Dane DeHaan, and Dane DeHaan is from a movie called. He plays kind of like the same character as his character in Chronicle, which is somebody that kind of descends into madness because he's kind of had a neglected childhood, sort of. The one in Chronicle is like he had an abusive father. This one is just like a neglected father. Like, yeah, he had money, but he just never cared for him. just shipped him off to boarding school and stuff. And he kind of grew up by himself, with all the money but none of the love. And then he finally, when he tries to bond with his father, all he gets is the news that his his father's dying. So he does really cool as that deranged character, that descent into madness that he goes through to become the Green Goblin. Um, there's a real cool cameo about Paul Giamatti as Rhino. Paul Giamatti just steals the show, man. He's so over the top, such an awesome thing. Now, so if I like all those elements, why is the movie not realized to be what I thought? Well, it's a freaking waste of talent. Electro, it's so freaking cool, but why does he get so little screen time? We have this development of the love story. We have a lot of side quests about Peter trying to find out about his father. We got all this stuff, and guess what? It doesn't. It takes way too much. There's some dumb humor also involved. There's unnecessary scenes, but we don't get, because the film is so lighthearted, which is kind of refreshing. Nothing has to be as dark as Batman, which is a much better comic book film if you ask me. All the Batman series. Um, but the that's the thing. It's a waste. He's just not used enough. Also, Mr. DeHaans, for the Green Goblin, so freaking menacing, man. The ending scene could have been so much more if the chemistry between Peter and him, went more. Like they only use very little. Maybe it just not. It's a waste. It's a waste. It's almost like, man, you have these awesome people. Paul Giamatti, man. Paul Giamatti is so funny, so awesome, so evil, cruel, over the top, and he just that he's not. This is just a cameo, man. It's like 5 minutes of screen time, but those 5 minutes he uses, they're really cool. Um, that's one of the major, you know, bad things. The other things that are, the thing is just that the film has some dark points, but because it's so lighthearted, it doesn't take itself seriously. So when you have the dark moments, they're not as good because you're lighthearted. You're like, huh. Even the ending, the the scenes before the end are really good. The actual ending, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's also so stupid that everybody's barricade watching superheroes fight. Like that doesn't happen in real life. Like if you were in the middle of New York and you saw like superhumans shooting each other into web slings and ray guns and electricity, and things started to blow up and buildings and are collapsing, and debris is falling, you're not gonna stick around to watch. You're gonna run away for your life. No matter how interesting it is, at least you're gonna take freaking cover. But they're like staring with their mouths open. Give me a break. It's lighthearted, but it. That's the thing, and I think that it just they just didn't accomplish what they needed to. Like there's some writing problems, definitely. Let me just say there's some writing problems there. Just maybe I don't know what happened there. I think that it's not getting good reviews at all. The film, but I recommend that you see it because it's really. I mean, it's a popcorn movie. I felt the childlike, feelings when I was watching the action. I like it. I just wanted more bad guys, more confrontations, more things. It's really, you know, really cool. After the credits, I recommend that you stick around for that. I'm gonna give this film a B minus. That's my grade, meaning that it's cool, not great. B for effort, but it could have been better. Take care. God bless. See you next video.